Jada Pinkett Smith's husband was performing at a concert in San Diego and decided to directly address the Diddy of it all. For the first time. So, did he get jiggy with Diddy?
Nobody expected what happened next. The courtroom was tense, the atmosphere heavy, everyone waiting to hear from the next witness. Then the doors opened, and in walked Will Smith. Gasps filled the room. Even the judge paused. There had been no announcement, no hint that he would show up. But there he was, alone, walking straight to the stand with no entourage and no lawyer by his side. Will didn't come as a celebrity. He came as someone ready to tell the truth. For years, he had stayed silent while rumors swirled and secret recordings spread in whispers. But that day, something changed. Will said he had seen too much and kept quiet for too long. Now, he was done hiding. The courtroom listened in silence as he spoke. He said it all started with a party, one of Diddy's private gatherings. The invite came through a mutual contact, someone Will had worked with before. It was pitched as a birthday celebration full of music and networking. Will had been to events like that before, so he didn't think twice. But the moment he arrived, he knew something was wrong. Security was tight. Phones were taken at the door. He was told it was for privacy, but Will said it felt like something more. Like control. Inside, the music was strange and hypnotic. The lighting was dark and mirrors lined the walls. He said it felt like someone was always watching. Then Diddy approached him and said, "Now you're part of the family," with a smile that didn't feel warm. It felt like ownership. Will followed him into a back room, expecting to talk business. But what he saw inside shocked him. People were performing. Men, women, some recognizable, some very young. Others stood and watched as if it was normal. Diddy, Will said, was laughing like it was just another night. Will didn't know how to leave. He realized then, once you're in, you're in. Days later, he received a call from a block number. The voice on the other end just said, "Hope you had fun, Fresh Prince," and hung up. Not long after, an envelope showed up at his office. Inside was a flash drive. Will almost didn't look. But when he did, he saw footage of himself at the party, dazed and unaware. In the background, Diddy's voice said, "That's how we keep him." Will said he felt fear like never before. It wasn't just a party, it was a trap. He hadn't been invited for fun. He'd been pulled into something bigger. After that night, things changed. Projects disappeared. Roles he was in talks for vanished. Rumors started about him, stories that seemed planted to control him. Diddy didn't need to threaten people directly. According to Will, he had a system. Publicists, bloggers, producers, all knew who to protect and who to silence. Say no to Diddy, and opportunities suddenly dried up. Will said this didn't just happen to him. He knew others going through the same thing. Celebrities too afraid to speak. Some had legal contracts, others were just scared of the backlash. But Will finally reached a breaking point. He saw others speaking out. Cassie, Don Richard, even Meek Mill, and realized he couldn't stay quiet any longer. Then came the tapes. Will was told that audio recordings had surfaced in court, recordings where his name was mentioned. He didn't even know they existed. But when he heard one of them behind closed doors, everything became clear. He described hearing his own voice, laughing, but it didn't sound like him. It sounded drugged. Then he heard Diddy saying, "That's how we break them in." People were saying his name in ways Will said he couldn't repeat. He was horrified, not just by what he heard, but by what he couldn't remember. Will said that was the moment he decided to testify. He reached out to prosecutors himself and told them he was ready to speak. "I wasn't just coerced," he said in court. "I was used." He looked at Diddy and said, "You built an empire out of manipulation. You called it success. You called it love. But all you built was fear." Then he held up a photo of himself from 2004. "This was me before the first party," he said. "I haven't seen that man in years." Will told the jury this wasn't just about him or one party. It was about a system that protected powerful men by silencing their victims. And if they didn't stop it now, it would keep happening. When he finished, he didn't look back. He just walked out. Diddy sat frozen, pale, and shaking. Outside the courtroom, the world erupted. The internet exploded with support. Survivors spoke up. Fans expressed heartbreak and anger. And Hollywood, once silent, scrambled. But Will wasn't looking for attention. He just wanted the truth to finally come out. Because this time, it wasn't about movies or awards. It was about reclaiming the voice he had lost,